Okay, guys. Shh. Okay, so in our Frappy packet, we have done this problem. This is the 2010 question, right? Okay, so we found the probability that a person is a college graduate or uses the internet as their primary source. We found that to be 0.454, okay? We added the probability that they use the internet, which was the 600, sorry, that they are a college graduate, excuse me, which is the 693 out of 2,500. We added that to the probability that the internet is their primary source, 687 out of 2,500. But we had to subtract the intersection, right? Okay? And that was these 245 people, okay? So we subtracted the 245 out of the 2,500. So we determined that that probability was 0.454. Agree? Okay. In B, we had calculated the probability that a person uses the internet as their primary source if we know they're a college graduate. That was a conditional probability, okay? And we did that by first looking to see, well, how many of those people in this information do both the 245? And then we divided by the number who are college graduates. Now, yesterday, we learned the formula for a conditional probability. We said the probability of A given B can be found by taking the probability of A and B and dividing by the given. But we did this problem before we even knew that formula because we had some common sense, right? Okay. Now, what we've done though is we didn't take the probability of the intersection. We took the number in the intersection. Running out of space. And we divided by the number in the given. And that works as well. So we didn't take the probability that they were in the intersection and divided by the probability that they were a college graduate. We took the number in the intersection and divided by the number who were college graduates, which was simpler. Would you agree with that? Yes. Okay. Now, we haven't done C yet, but C relates to our second test for independence that we learned yesterday, okay? And I've left it up here on the board. The first test for independence is the multiplication rule. That's the probability of A times the probability of B equals the probability that they happen together. But then yesterday we learned this one. Is the probability of A equal to the probability of A given B, right? Okay, so in part C of this question, they ask if when selecting an adult at random from this sample, are the events is a college graduate and obtains news primarily from the internet independent. Well, because we already calculated a conditional probability in B, we might as well use that rule, okay? Although we could use either rule in this case, okay? So what must this probability that we computed in B be equal to verify that these events are independent or to determine that they're not? What must this equal according to our new rule, our new test? Andrew?
The probability that someone's primary source of news is the internet.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter if we know they're college graduates or not. It should equal the probability that they are using the internet as their primary source. So that's what I did, okay? I said, is the answer I got in B equal to just the probability that they use the internet as their primary source? Which of course we used up here in part A, okay? The number who use the internet as their primary source is 687 out of 2,500. And we want to see if that's equal to what we computed in B, the conditional probability. Well, when you calculate this, 245 divided by 693, you get 0.354. When you calculate the probability of just that they use the internet as their primary source, you get 0.275. Are they equal? No. Are Are they independent? No, they had to be equal to be independent. Okay? So all you have to say with this justification is that those are not independent events. In other words, if you know a person is a college graduate, it has an effect on the likelihood that their primary source of news comes from the internet. Okay? Now, doesn't that make sense, though? Because you figure somebody who's college educated is more likely to use the internet than to rely on TV or cable TV or to read the newspaper. Okay? In this day and age, very few people read newspapers. Okay? Especially those that are educated. So does that make sense as to why we chose to use this test to determine if they're independent? Do you have any questions?